Barak Yahweh, Brakatha, Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Brakatha, Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Rakakwadash, the honors to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled, Before It Became a Desert Piece of Land. Lord will, you are edified. This video was inspired by a video Elder Monatazak composed on his YouTube platform, GMS South Carolina 08, video entitled Reply, Self-Made Scholars Teaching Fake 12 Tribes Chart. Lord will, subscribe and be edified.
Yahuwah said he's not the author of confusion. You're preaching that Africans are not us. We're not them. They're not us. If slavery was not abolished, where do you think they would go back and get more slaves? Where? To that dry desert piece of land called Israel? They
understand something. We relocated to Africa to avoid the Roman persecution. Okay? And at that time frame, you had mainly the southern kingdom in the land of Israel. Okay, and some small portion of the northern kingdom. Now remember, the northern kingdom was removed because of the Assyrian persecution. Okay, now this lady doesn't know what she's talking about. And again, we fled to Africa and many parts of the world because of the Roman persecution, mainly so-called Negroes, so-called Jamaicans, and so-called Haitians. Okay? Galatians chapter 4 and 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. So Jerusalem is the true motherland. Okay? And before Israel became in that desert-like state, it was identified as the Fertile Crescent. Okay? This is a picture of the Fertile Crescent, which also means a land that flows milk and honey. Okay? And as you can see, it's shaped like a crescent. Genesis, the 2nd chapter. And Yahweh power planted a garden eastward in Eden. Okay, Eden is the world. Okay, in the Hebrew, Aidan, which means the world. Okay, so and Yahweh planted a garden. This garden is Israel, also identified as the Fertile Crescent. And there he put the man whom he had formed. So Adam had dominion. And out of the ground made Yahweh power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So the tree of life is dealing with the knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, basically Satanism. Okay? Anything that is outside the standard of the Most High is Satanism. Verse 10, and a river went out of Eden, okay, to water the garden. Now, again, the garden is what? Israel, or the Fertile Crescent, okay? And a garden is also symbolic to be enclosed. Okay? And in the kingdom of heaven, Israel will be enclosed again. It will have that spiritual hedge around it, the angels protecting it. And from there it was parted, it became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison, meaning the Red Sea. That is it which compassed the whole land of Havilah, which is Arabia, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon, the Nile River. The same is it that compassed the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, which is the Tigris River. That is it which go toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the reason why this land was so fertile, because it had a river, a great water source, okay? And a river went out of Eden to water Israel. According to the etymon, fertile, which means what? Bearing or producing abundantly. Keep this in mind, right? Crescent. It also means what? Grow, thrive, increase in numbers of strength, spring up, the fertile crescent, right? Which supports what? Let's go to Exodus chapter 3 and 17. Let's start at 16. Now this is Yahweh informing Moses on what to do. Exodus 3:16, go and gather the elders of Israel together and say unto them, Yahweh power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt unto the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. This milk and honey, okay, is symbolic for Israel being the fertile crescent, okay? Let's go to the Hebrew for milk.
Strong's H20.
Slakia. Strong's H2461, pronounced as halab, which means what? Abundance of the land, okay? The fertile crescent, okay? Abundance of the land. And for honey, Strong's H1706, pronounced as da-ba-sha, right? Or you could pronounce it as the bash, the bash. Here we go. In certain contexts, most often in phrase describing abundance in land of Canaan. Okay, so if a land is classified or considered as a land flowing of milk and honey, this land is extremely fertile. Okay, it has cattle, it has vegetation, it has a great water source, it has bees. Okay, anything that makes it productive, this land has. Okay, so before Israel was in this desert-like state as it is today, it was identified as the Fertile Crescent, okay, which also means a land that flows or flowing with milk and honey. Okay, now when Yahushua comes back, he will destroy the curse on our land as well on us. Okay, so all the curses that we go through will be annihilated, and the curse that our land is going through will be annihilated. Okay, case in point, let's go to Revelation chapter 21 and verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. Now this first heaven and this first earth is symbolic for Esau's rulership, and the new heaven and a new earth is symbolic for Yahushua's rulership. But within Yahushua's rulership, the earth and the heavens will thrive. Under Esau's rulership, we see how the earth is being cursed. Okay? How the earth is being cursed. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And when you go into the term new, which is Strong's G2537 in the Greek kainos, right? New, which as recently made, is superior to what it succeeds. All right, now, when you go back to Genesis, the first chapter, right? It's a lot. Genesis, the first chapter. Let's go to Genesis 1 and 10. And the Elohim called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And the Elohim saw that it was good. So when Yahushua and the 144,000 created the earth from the blueprint of the Most High, they said, man, this is good. Hence, earth being identified as a paradise. And when Yahushua returns, okay, the earth and the heavens will be much more better because of the rulership of the kingdom of heaven, okay? And guess what? Within this rulership, the land Israel will be extremely fertile and flowing with milk and honey due to what? Cattle and vegetation and insects, okay? Animals and a great water source, okay? You women, just be quiet. Period. Lord will, you're edified. Shalom.